Hello, welcome to another Punters Guide. Brilliant week. Everyone's catered for this week. The kind of start the jumps getting going with Chepstow, but some brilliant action still to come on the flat. None more so the Future Champions weekend and the big one in just 7 days' time next Saturday as well at Ascot. Jason Weaver alongside us. Jason, it's the turn of the babies to try and set down some classic credentials first up this weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is. We will work our way through the cards, and obviously, when you look at the autumn stakes, Group 3 over the mile, you got horses in here like the likes of Orne, who managed to win at Kempton on debut. But is it the time of the year? John and Thady Gosden are throwing all the dice out there, aren't they? You know, they want as much as they can gain now, because Aidan O'Brien is breathing down their neck for the Trainers' Championship. It's going to be a busy, busy couple of weekends.
It certainly is. A loads of prize money offer, which will determine things like the Trainers' Championship. You mentioned it, then let's get stuck into it. The autumn stakes, and as you mentioned, John Thady-Gos and Aidan O'Brien, Charlie Appleby, they all bring something to the dance.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of makeup of the race. Ambient Friendly at the top is the one who possibly will go to the front, but made the run in at Leicester, had a fairly easy time of it. Lots of these have run over 7 furlongs or the mile, so we're not sort of gaining a huge amount of horses jumping up and down in distance. I will say that Arabic Legend looked pretty good when he won on his debut. That was over course and distance. I quite like that. He then comes back and he runs really well at Salisbury. Now, Arabian Crown, we'll talk about him a little bit later on. He's in the Zetland. He's about 6-5 for the Zetland later on the card. This is an ideal opportunity for Arabic Legend to get back on board. And the jockey merry-go-round has started. Rosa Lion, however you want to call it, won over in France, obviously. Oisin Murphy, he's at Newmarket. He's not on the Balding runner. It's Sean Levy.
Interesting. That is interesting to me. Jockey merry-go-round. So Arabic Legend then in the autumn stakes. Then we're on the Group 1, the Dewhurst Stakes. All eyes on City of Troy. Missed an engagement over an Irish Champions at weekend, but he's coming here. He's going to be hard to beat, the market suggests.
Yeah, look, he's going to be an odds-on shot. The talk, I've sort of heard it a few times now, but, you know, he's the possibility of being a Triple Crown runner. That has been bandied around on 1 or 2 occasions. He certainly does look unusual. I'll give him that. When you win by 6.5 lengths up at Newmarket and you beat Hartem, who posts a decent level of form in the juvenile division, but made him look pedestrian. If there was a couple of horses to trouble him, I think Al Yanabi looked really good when he won at Newmarket last time. And down the bottom, Indian Run is the sort of horse you could see outrunning his odds. He's not with the fashionable stable. Look, I think City of Troy will win, but possibly if we get the dead 8 runners, the sort of race that people like to have an each-way play, Indian Run could run well.
Yeah, I like to back him in the Acom, so maybe having an each-way bet on him in that one. Then 2.25 miles. This is Arowich, 34 runners. Obviously been a big anti-post gamble on Pied Piper once Ryan Moore was confirmed for the ride. Well, this is what we love, the bread and butter, isn't it? The big field handicap, the big betting races. You having a couple of darts?
Yeah, I think I'll have to have a couple of darts. Surprisingly, over this distance, the stats are telling me that high-drawn runners are not that well. They don't win that often. But listen, the track is going to be important, isn't it? It's a which part where they come when they come into the 1.25 mile straight at Newmarket. First selection is around about 40 or 50 to 1. Law of the Sea, who goes for Ian Williams and Jim Crowley, put up his best performance when he chased home a couple of these that have been knocking around in that staying division early on this season. He's gone missing a few times, but his form absolutely ties in with the best of the stayers. Look, if the likes of a Pied Piper, the likes of a Goshen, who are, you know, thrown in on their jumping form, that's when you have to sit up and take notice. But I'll be honest, I think that Law of the Sea is massively overpriced. And an old friend of mine, Tritonic, who goes for Alan King and Ross Orion, he's not quite reached the heights that we expected of him this season. But he's another one. When you're out there at double digits, one is drawn down low, one is drawn a bit higher on the track. But I'll take those 2 against the field.
Like 2 against the field, and Law of the Sea and Tritonic. Maybe the Jumpers boys get one over on the flat. They usually do, doesn't it? when it comes to the says. ITV cameras then go off air due to the rugby, but we've still got a couple of races to look forward to. First up, the Zetland Stakes. We're back with the juveniles, Jace.
Yeah, if anybody's old enough, I won this when it was black and white as they were galloping down the Rolling Mile on double trigger. It's all about the stayers, isn't it? And it's that form that we were talking about from earlier on. Arabian Crown absolutely zipped in when we saw him last time at Salisbury. He looked for all the world like he stays. The team have got a particularly good record in this, winning it last year with flying honours amongst the many others. He's a short one, but I think he'll win.
Arabian Crown then for the boys in blue. Interestingly, I haven't got one in the Dewhurst, which I forgot to mention. And then we've got another all-age group race for the Darley Stakes over the 9 furlongs, the Cambridgeshire track and trip, if you like. Again, really good race. Your old mate Knight is in there, like to be prominent in the market.
Yeah, he is. He's going in against some real tough types, isn't he? The likes of Sabuska, Rodebarg, who we got the better of last time. Spirit Dancer's been going through the grades, likely to be underestimated again. And Real Game. It's not like Richard Hughes to just post them in there unless one has been really showing plenty. But he is my old favourite, Knight. I thought that form behind Chindit was rock solid. He also, for a horse who could be a little bit keen, possibly wants the 9 furlongs, that intermediate distance, sort of the fielding length, if you like. And for me, if he settles a touch better earlier on, he's got the class on the field here. I think Knight will take a bit of beating.
We are the night then for the Younger Brigade. But it's not just about Newmarket, because it's York's final meeting of the year as well. There's a few races there to look forward to, starting with the Rockingham, the 2-year-olds, a listed sprint over 6 furlongs, and plenty of nice potential types throw the hat into the ring here.
Yeah, look, we've got loads in here with massive amounts or massive potential to keep on climbing up. Esquire, I had a look back at his victory up at Hamilton. I think it's great that David Nolan gets an opportunity for David O'Mara. He's not adverse that they can throw up a good one. Pura Sangue, who goes for Andrew Balding, likely to be towards the top of the market off the back of a decent second in listed company. But I have to say, look back at Star Law, the way that managed to win on debut over 7, ran back over 7, again up at Sandown, all over the winner, a furlong and a half down, 2 down, furlong down, half furlong, walking. No surprise that they see that one for Sir Michael Stout drop back down to 6 furlongs. Could be a decent sprinter.
Yeah, I like Star Law as well. Richard Kingscote and Sir Michael Stout in the Juddmonte Silks. Then a massive big field sprint. Loads of cliff horses. We follow them obviously year after year. It's another one of whose turn is it this time, isn't it? The final big sprint handicap of the year on the Naysmire.
Yeah, and look, you could look back and people will say, well, if Significantly didn't win the Air Gold Cup, he would have been unlucky. Joe Fanning, he's down riding Your Kindness in the Says, so that's the reason he's not there. But he's gone up 4 and they take off 3. He's got to be competitive, hasn't he? There's no getting away from it. He's likely to be towards the top of the market. But I was all over Montesib for the Air Gold Cup. He was a massive double-digit price. He flew from the back of the pack. He went onto the wrong side. Look, I'm hoping that our young jockey doesn't have the same sort of trouble this time with traffic and choosing the wrong path. He's got the ideal runner. Hyperfocus is drawn right next door to him. He's in 4. Montesib, the selection, is in 7. Good day for Haggis up on his happy hunting ground.
Yeah, maybe a bit of compensation for that Air Gold Cup run. What's this? They're throwing a maiden at you, are they? So they make you in your corn, £30,000 in prize money. So probably take a nice type to win it. Yeah,
it is. I'd be fascinated to know how strong Assailant is in the market. You look at Bjorn Nielsen, obviously he's been, we sort of regularly were seeing him on the racecourse with Stradivarius, who's just down the road from me now, enjoying his happy retirement, screaming and shouting every morning. He hasn't been as good for Bjorn this year. He's had 3 winners to date, 2 separate horses, one that's won a couple, one that's won one, and 2 that have done nothing. This has got a real decent pedigree, though, and the bar is not set very high. Of the horses that have run so far, a mark of 78. I think you'd be disappointed if Assailant couldn't get the job done. Kieran Schumacher, soon to be Gosden's first jockey, his best ride on the card. Yeah, probably the reason he's gone there as well, you would imagine. And we sign off with a 10 furlong handicap as well, playing plenty of old favourites there. Laia Kell finally got back to winning ways last time out, but
I'm a sucker for a lightly raced Sir Michael Stout improving handicapper, but the market's found him.
Yeah, oh, for sure. The thing is, when Believing Stars managed to win last time, it was going to be hands and heels. The horse of Bowie's, Leah Spear, I think it was, down on the inside, went again, and Richard only managed to get one little tap with the Pro Cush into him, and he absolutely hammered through the line. It has not been by Sir Michael Stout's usual high standards, a stellar season for him. This lad is quickly going to make up into a very, very good performer. The old boy Scampi, I think, will run well, even though he comes back down in trip because he travels really strong. But yeah, I'm afraid it's pretty boring. Believing Stars could be an absolute rocket in here. What are we talking about? Mark at 94? He might be triple digits easy.
There we are. Then maybe ahead of the handicapper then on just his fourth start. All eyes on Believing Stars there. So that's 9 races covered across HQ and York. What would be the idea of a best bet on Saturday afternoon, please?
Saturday afternoon, I think that we go to a small field and we go with Arabian Crown of Godolphins. He was pretty impressive at Salisbury. He's up towards the head of the market, but he really should take care of these. Aiden does bring one over, so that may well give us a little bit of an angle in, bit of a fight at the top of the market, if you like. And for the sprinters, Montasib, he's been an old favourite of mine, and just maybe he is a 6 furlong, not a 7 furlong horse. So he'd be a player at an each way price. 2 for you.
Look, two for the price of 1 as well. Yeah, great stuff. It is a brilliant weekend. I say 9 races on ITV across Newmarket and York, and the real start of the jumps as well. Day 2 of the big jumps meeting down at Chepstow. All racing fans catered for. And of course, next week is the big one, Champions Day at Ascot. Make sure you join us for Jason's preview of that then. But whether you're back in, of course, this week, best of luck. And as always, please gamble responsibly.